So much like the theme and the setting of A Fistful of Carbon, it's kind of hard to pinpoint down exactly how to describe it, but I think that makes it really cool and interesting to me. It's unique. Being a space western, things like Firefly pop up to mind, but outside of a couple of pieces of media, it's hard to try to tell someone, yeah, this is the vibe that is going into this, because each of them has taken it in such drastically different ways, and in turn, each of the sills in the game can kind of represent things in very different ways as well, which creates a lot of freedom for the characters and the players to do what they want with it. And knowing that the game runners are letting this kind of be a breeding ground for the story that the characters and the players really want to tell ourselves is something that stands out and is really exciting as well. The sills remind me of like the dystopian novels that we all read as a kid, when everyone would kind of get separated into their own groups, but they could possibly switch as they grew older and realized what they were actually good at. And having that ability in the story to create a character who grew up in one part of the society but moved to another and interact with both of those groups in different and unique ways, I think lends to a level of storytelling that I'm really excited to see people play out. They each feel really unique but also super essential, so it's not like there's just this feud going on that has no reason to be there. As somebody who is new to LARP and gets very overwhelmed with a lot of details really quickly, seeing a short list of mechanics but very clear instructions and just kind of rule sets was such a great thing for me to see. And the way that you can interchange which roles that you play from game to game without feeling super bogged down in choices and having to memorize a lot of stuff, it's a breath of fresh air. And while the rules and mechanics have been streamlined within A Fistful of Carbon, they don't feel like it's lacking in anything or that you don't have the ability to kind of do what you want to do. A lot of things have multiple purposes to them, and it really kind of creates this culture of actually interacting with one another, and using those skills to help boost other people's skills as well. And that collaborative aspect is just a lot of fun, and I think can contribute to a better story. And that story-focused narrative here, I think, is the thing that really sets A Fistful of Carbon apart. It still has the fighting elements, but I think a lot of those other things outside of just the big fights really are what draws me to it, especially with being able to sit down and just play with a lot of like stim toys for a bit. The attention to detail and fleshing out the realm of being able to steal someone's information or have an alias or create a physical space that becomes your mechanic space really shows how much the game runners care about this, and also gives the characters just a wealth of things that they could do or interact with, and is going to lead to a lot more storytelling possibility that I'm very excited to see. Overall, I think the level of care and excitement and love that the game runners and the people who have already been able to playtest this and be a part of the community have already had for the project is what's going to make the biggest difference for them, and I'm excited to see where that goes because it's already great and it can only get better from here.